comes to lifting weights, especially if you're just starting out, I mean, the amount of equipment you need, you can do this at any hotel. You can do this at any, it doesn't have to be a super fancy gym. You know, carrying dumbbells, doing what's called a farmer's carry, such an important form of activity, both for your grip. So most people will find when they initially do this, and we have standards for our patients when it comes to these types of exercises, whether it be box step ups, a farmer's carry. You know, for example, for a woman, we want her ultimately, and we index this by decade, but say a woman in her 40s should be able to carry 75% of her body weight in her hands for a minute. So if she weighs 100 pounds, she should be able to carry 75 pounds, 37 and a half in each hand for a minute.
And if she can do that,
if she can, then she's,
it means
then
what?
It means that we are very confident that by the time she's in her last decade, she will have the strength to open a jar, for example. Okay. Do the types of things that we think really matter to people.
Yeah, I love that. It's really specific, because any female listening to the show right now can actually go and check that themselves, see what am I able to carry. Now, if they cannot, let's say they go, okay, this sounds great. Oh, wow, I can only do 20% or 30%.
Or I can only carry it for 20 seconds and then my grip fades out.
Yeah, so what's the advice then?
It means drop the weight. So say go to half your body weight until you can get to a minute. Go find a weight that you can get to a minute and then slowly advance the weight. That's
brilliant. Really, really practical. And for a man?
It's your body weight for a minute. So
at what age again?
In your fifth decade, so between the age of 40 and 50. So for example, if the man weighs 180 pounds, he should be able to hold 90 pounds in each hand and walk for a minute.
Yeah, I love that.
And again, a lot of people will not be able to do that out of the gate. That's fine. Drop it down. Go to 70% of your body weight. Go to 50% of your body weight.
It's interesting. A lot of people get put off strength training. They think they may never have done it as a kids. Mm-hmm. They may be intimidated by gyms. They may not know what to do and think, man, I can't afford a personal trainer. I don't know what I'm doing. The farmer's carry is kind of something, you know, I guess you've got to be mindful that you're not sticking your head out, right? That you've got a decent alignment. And yes, you probably need some body awareness, but it's quite an accessible thing that people could try themselves, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And we've I can't remember if we included the farmer's carry in the video for the book, but there's a series of videos we made to go with the book.
It's on your website, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's there's
we'll
probably at least
in the show notes.
Yeah, there's at least half a dozen of the exercises, including the step up, where we show the correct form. Because you're right, you can cheat. You can do these things incorrectly. There's a lot of ways to do this, and we always have people start these things with just body weight, for example, in the step up, you know, before they move to any weight.
Staying on strength, let's talk about grip strength and foot strength, the extremities of our body. Why are they so important? Maybe there's a lot of data on grip strength.
Yes.
But what's fascinating for me, and you'll explain the data, I'm sure, on grip strength, but that might indicate to someone, I need to get my grip stronger, so I'm going to buy
those little grip squeezers.
Buy those little grip squeezers and just get really, really strong grip strength, which I'm not entirely convinced it's going to do what we want it to do. So maybe expand out on that if you can.
Yeah. So I think the same reason that VO2 max is such a remarkable proxy for lifespan and health span is why grip strength always seems to be a remarkable proxy for both as well. And it comes down to what they are indicators of, or what I like to describe as integrals of. So, you know how a hemoglobin A1C is, at least in theory, supposed to be an integral or summation of what your blood glucose has been like over the past 3 months? Similarly, a very high VO2 max is an integral of very hard training for a long period of time.
Yeah.
If you took an unfit person and said, I want you to train really hard for a week, they're not going to have a high VO2 max in a week. In fact, if you took a person at the bottom 5th percentile and had them exercise for 3 months, they're not going to get to the top 5th percentile. That's why a person at the top 5% of VO2 max, you can tell, has years of training. That's what it's telling you. So it's such a good predictor of lifespan because it's reflecting so much more than we can ever get out of a questionnaire. Tell me how much you exercise a week and how strenuous it is. Who cares? Like,
all those inputs are reflected.
It's totally
reflected,
and it can't be hidden. It can't be masked. It can't be cheated.
Yeah.
The same is true with grip strength. Grip strength is an integral for overall strength. You can't be very strong without having a strong grip, right? So I mean, think about being in a gym and lifting weights. You're always using your hands. I'm here in London right now. We're at a hotel. I was deadlifting yesterday, and I sometimes bring liquid chalk with me because, you know, if you're at a gym and they don't like you to use chalk, you have this liquid chalk, and I forgot to bring my liquid chalk. And so I had to deadlift without chalk yesterday. And it's just a stark reminder of how I become grip limited when I'm deadlifting. In other words, like, I was failing because I couldn't even hold the bar anymore. So I actually ended up dropping the bar at some point, not because my glutes and my quads and my legs were,
because that was a limiting factor.
I was limited by my grip. And you start to realize so much of what I'm doing in the gym is driven by my grip strength.
Yeah.
When I'm doing a pull-up, if my grip is failing, I'm failing.
And that's why farmer's carry, of course, is such a good functional exercise.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're using your grip so often when you are strength training. And so it's true that it's an easy thing to measure. And that's also true of VO2 max. It's objective, scientifically measurable, reproducible. You can measure it here in London. You can measure it in San Francisco. You can measure it in Delhi. It doesn't matter where you are. You can always measure this. Same is true with grip strength, leg extension, chest press. I mean, these are the things that they typically measure. But it's you're always going to see the studies talk about grip strength. And I agree with you completely. It's a bit misleading because people think, great, I just need to go get a little squeezer thing. And it's like, no, definitely don't get a little squeezer thing. Go pick heavy things up and walk around.